Hi guys, welcome back to my beat breakdown series, episode 5. Today we'll be going over my beat Love Fiction, which isn't on YouTube, it is on SoundCloud and on my Instagram. So sit back, relax, and we'll check out what I did. I've been catching this sampled beat wave recently, and especially sort of SP404 artist beats, which are kind of lo-fi and you know, they play with the filters and they just sound so cool, right? The whole SP404 movement, I think, is really cool. I don't really want to invest in an SP404 right now, and maybe later. I never really sample my sounds, so I don't know if it's for me. But I try to achieve that vibe with what I have, right? So for this beat, I started with the hi-hats. I thought I'd explain my approach to achieving that laid back, kind of late, kind of early hi-hat feel that you have with most lo-fi or old school hip-hop records. So of course, this all started from J Dilla, a massive hip-hop producer. Originally, he achieved this because he switched off the quantize setting on his Akai MPC, right? So when he played the drums, everything was a bit in and out of time. I believe Questlove took that, who worked with Dilla and D'Angelo and a bunch of other great artists, and he made it into a more consistent rhythm. So still late, still kind of out of phase, but not so randomized as Dilla had it. Any drummer will tell you that it's a complete feel. So there's no real musical, theoretical, technical way of putting it. The drummers just feel it, and that's how music should be. Me not being a finger drummer or a drummer that can sample my rhythms, I sort of need a technical way of putting it in. And the best way of doing that, the closest you can get, is either with a quintuplet swing or a septuplet swing. So I'm going to show you real quick what I do to achieve that quintuplet or septuplet swing. So we'll go with quintuplets because I use quintuplets in this song. So here I have some simple hi-hats, and what I do is I put 6 random notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, on whatever note you want. Usually I go C, middle C, and then stretch that across one beat. Right? So you have 5 notes in one beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take off the 6. So that's quintuplets, right? So triplets are 3 notes in one beat. This is simply quintuplets. Now you take off the second, third, and the last. And that pretty much gives you a quintuplet swing. Dub that across 4 bars. And I'll compare it with a hi-hat pattern. I started with a metronome. So the metronome by itself playing straight 8 sounds like this. With the quintuplet swing played by the hats, it sounds like this. So the first note of the beat is in time and the second is slightly late. Hats by themselves sound like this. Right? So what I tend to do as well though is take the first note and I'll shift it over by 1/16. So just put that on the second 16th of the bar. And that with the metronome sounds like this. I mean, that's as close as I can get to it. So anyway, back to the beat. I started with the hats. Immediately after I put the snare in. With this snare, I know where I am in the bar, right? So 2, 4, 2. You know, I know where the bar starts and ends. And already there, I'm already feeling it. The third thing I did is try to accentuate the hats, give them some melody. And I did that by playing these guitar chords. So with that, I added some more hats. I put this one in. And this one. This is an open hat just to introduce the snare. I did leave the original hi-hat in when the open hat hits. The reason I do that sometimes, not always, is because it makes it sound more sampled, in my opinion. It makes it sound like someone had a hi-hat pattern and just put the open hat on it with their MPC. You know, if you want to make it sound more like a drummer, then take out the closed hat on the beat of the open hat. Because obviously a drummer can't play an open hat and a closed hat at the same time, right? So then I introduced the kick. Pretty basic kick melody. On this beat I played my kick and snare on the keyboard rather than penciling it in one at a time. You know, they come out real feely, real simple, not too technical. So on all the drums I added a vinyl distortion, which is the crackle you might hear in the background. And that just adds a natural sounding gain to the drums, like as if you're pushing speakers rather than adding an overdrive. And then I put this drum bus, so that adds some boom, some crunch, some drive. I don't know exactly what these knobs do, I just sort of know what they do to the sound, so unfortunately I can't really tell you technically what I'm doing here. But without these, it sounds like this. With these, it sounds like this. So not too much change, just sounds a bit more raspy. So then on top of that, in a very SP404 kind of fashion, I wanted a sampled melody, right? And I never really use samples, I don't really go and splice them for samples. Nothing wrong with that, I don't believe there's anything wrong with that, I just don't do that personally. So to get that myself, I recorded this guitar melody. And then I chopped up myself, so it sounds like a sample. And the chopped up version sounds like this. With the other guitar, it sounds like this. Fuck yeah. Put the drums in there. Man, I really like this beat. So already there, to me, that's already the beat. You know, everything else is additional. And for example, you know, I added this vocal chop. So a while ago, my boy Ati Parp, check him out, he's an incredible singer, sent me a vocal sample. You know, a bunch of like runs and stuff, because that's what he's really good at. He's really good at these R&B style runs. Right? Things like that, which I love, I use in my beats all the time. And I took a really, really small bit. I think this. That's it, you know? I would like to use more, but in this beat, as I said, I wanted a constant vocal note, so I could play about with it. Chopping that up yielded this. Again, it just sounds so sampled, it sounds so raspy, old, like as if it's played on an SP404, which is kind of what I'm trying to achieve. It fits in like this. So I tried to make it sound like the lead guitar and the voice were kind of having a conversation. So if you notice, when one's playing, the other one's not. So they're kind of swapping licks almost. And that sounds, if you notice, voice, guitar, voice, guitar, you know? So they kind of stay out of each other's way naturally. To fill up the kind of wide stereo field, fill up areas which weren't being touched, I added a pad. And again, same thing, I played the chords and then I chopped them up. And the pad by itself sounds like this. With the drums, guitar, and the sample, it sounds like this. Yeah. And of course, just to fill up, at bottom end, I added this bass. I think this is a classic bass pad from Contact, which I use in almost all my beats. As you can see, there's a saturator on there, it's sidechained to the kick, and it's EQ'd like that. So when I'm doing lo-fi, kind of old school style beat, I EQ everything really extremely. You know, I take out a bunch of frequencies from each instrument just so it does sound kind of bad. I mean, it sounds bad to say that, but just so it does sound bad in a good way, right? To introduce the beat, I pretty much play the chords and the guitar uncut, so the original recordings. And that way you can get a gist of the song before it all gets chopped up, you know? But I still didn't feel like that was really enough, right? So I was watching a Nas interview, a really, really dope Nas interview, and there was just one phrase that just caught me.
It wasn't a lot of worries, life was a lot stress-free, and they would all share one dime bag and be just as high as I would be on a whole ounce.
Immediately downloaded it, converted it to MP3 and just pumped it into the beat. Together with the rest of the stuff sounds like this.
Wasn't a lot of worries, life was a lot stress-free, and they would all share one dime bag and be just as high as I would be on a whole ounce.
That's pretty much the beat. I added some little flair here and there, for example this bright marimba. Just adds a little bit of colour, a little bit of ear candy. Same with chimes. So yeah, that's pretty much it. As always guys, I'll play this for a minute, a couple of minutes for you guys that haven't listened to the beat, so you can just sit back and enjoy. Check out my Instagram for a little video edit I made. If you guys don't know yet, on my Instagram is where I'm most active. So yeah, thanks for watching guys. I hope you're all safe and healthy and enjoy your quarantine. Till next time.
Wasn't a lot of worries, life was a lot stress-free, and they would all share one dime bag and be just as high as I would be on a whole ounce.